The year was 1967. Hundreds of thousands of people were protesting the Vietnam War. One man in particular caught the nation's attention.
I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now, right here fighting you.
Aretha Franklin asked us for a little respect, and the Philadelphia 76ers beat the San Francisco Warriors in the NBA championship. And in that city of brotherly love, two brothers, Jerry and Murray Burstein, decided to buy a small dry cleaning business called Nixon Cleaners.
My brother went into business with his boss, and they wanted me to come in with them. Didn't get along with the partner, so it ended up being my brother and I.
Companies all over the United States were realizing the benefits of putting their employees into uniforms. These companies would purchase the uniforms for employees, and for a small weekly fee, pick up the dirty uniforms and replace them with clean ones.
From the first dry cleaning store, they opened a second dry cleaning store, and quickly Murray and Jerry realized that processing uniforms in a dry cleaning facility probably isn't the most efficient way of doing things.
Over the years, they built two processing plants, one in Wilmington, Delaware, and another in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Business was good, and the Burstein brothers developed a fine reputation in the region and in the industry. As the company grew, so did the small business. It was built on hard work, family values, and a great group of people.
I'll never forget back on Saturdays when I was probably about 8 or 9, my dad used to bring me to the plant in Chester, and he used to basically spend what it seemed like to me most of the time at lunch at the local deli, and I would be cleaning lint out of the dryers or washing the trucks. And I was so excited because he would come back from lunch and he would give me a salami sandwich, and I would think I got paid 25 cents an hour.
Every year, the business grew. Things were going well. As the company entered the early 1990s, manufacturing in the United States was starting to slow. The region and the entire country were moving towards service-based businesses as factories closed and moved their operations overseas.
Two things happened in the middle to late 80s that really allowed our business to propel from where it was, specifically the medical linen side of our business. In the mid to late 80s, there was an AIDS scare.
The disease called AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome,
posed a potential threat to the general population.
AIDS can be transmitted through blood transfusions.
People were really concerned about catching AIDS, and dentists were really concerned about catching AIDS and transmitting AIDS. So there was a real trend for dental offices to be basically converting their home laundered scrubs into professionally laundered scrubs, and that allowed us to write a lot of business very quickly. In the middle to late 80s and through the 90s, there was an explosion of outpatient surgery centers that were built around the country. And that was the second big wave that allowed the business to grow substantially, and that really carried well into the early 2000s.
Healthcare was becoming a consolidated industry, to the point today where you don't see doctors in their own office.
Jerry could see the changes coming. He knew that medical linen presented an opportunity if they acted quickly. Murray, however, had different thoughts. He felt that the traditional uniform business they had built was solid and that Nixon could continue as a strong regional business.
At Nixon, we were kind of stuck. We didn't have a direction, we didn't have a mission. And when Jerry had this vision of being a national company, it created energy and it created purpose, it created direction that we didn't have before.
My father and my uncle loved each other and still love each other to this day, but they didn't get along that well as business partners.
Murray was more a plant guy, so Murray could see the world as where he could put plants, and Jerry was a bigger idea guy.
When Murray and I split, I wanted to go into the franchise business. He was not interested in that. He was still an industrial guy. We split the business as evenly as we could. We split it geographically, and the rest is history.
In 1996, after many conversations and almost 30 years together, Jerry and Murray decided to part ways amicably, geographically splitting the business evenly between themselves. Jerry would take the market they had built out of the Lancaster, Pennsylvania location, and Murray would take the business processed out of Wilmington, Delaware. Murray would keep the name Nixon and some of the employees. Others would go with Jerry as he once again started a small company.
When we split the business, my brother and I sat down and we said, let's make it as painless as possible. let's see if we can split the top people up. We can agree on who gets who, and that's how it all happened. I wanted Joe, he wanted somebody else, and it really went pretty smoothly.
So when the decision came down, fortunately I was one of Jerry's kids, and Jerry just created this vision that we were going to be a national healthcare laundry service. A lot of the details Jerry left up to us. You know, when we started, we didn't even have a route accounting system. We were still dependent upon Nixon to process our invoices, do our general ledger, and things like that. And I told Jerry, we don't have an infrastructure, we don't have software. And he said, well, just figure it out, kiddo.
And figure it out they did as Jerry's son Jeff entered the business.
When Jeff came on board, it was an injection of talent. You know, Jeff had, not only did he have Jerry's vision, but also Jeff brought a level of professional strategy, execution, and Jeff invested in people and technology. So Jeff really was an accelerator to the vision. You know, Jerry said, okay, I see us as a national healthcare company, and then Jeff saw how we were going to get there.
Jerry and his team knew they needed a nationwide presence. Jeff recruited Bill Roberts as a national account manager and to help grow the professional apparel business.
So when I first came on board to ImageFIRST, we only had one franchise. That was the franchise in Cincinnati. That was Luke Fry. And it seemed like shortly thereafter, a couple franchisees came on every year. At one point, I think it was probably 3 or 4 that came on at one point. So it ended up being a great business model because now we're truly the only national company that provides medical and laundry services to outpatient facilities.
And as ImageFIRST continues to grow, so does their community giving. Volunteering at Cradles to Crowns, doing laundry for Ronald McDonald houses, running Back on My Feet 5Ks and hiring their members, building homes for Habitat for Humanity. Annually, ImageFIRST does over 35 community service events and donates more than $500,000 in monetary donations and in-kind Ronald McDonald House donations.
It started a long time ago, but we're still having fun today, and it does feel like we're creating something special. We're creating something special that if it didn't exist, there'd be a hole in the world. You know, that, my gosh, ImageFIRST does play a role. And it started as a small company with small family values that we've been able to hold on to as we've gotten big. So we're a national company, but still the most important thing are people.